Hi, my name is Paul. I'm a journalism student here on campus. Can I ask you a few questions?
I won't apologize for you.
Pardon?
I say I won't apologize for that. That you're a journalism student.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. You were on campus here back in '68 when the lid blew off the place. And that was a fight to get the Black Student Union recognized?
Well, it was more than that. It was a fight to get the school to admit anybody that wasn't white. At that time, there was only 10 or 15 black students in the whole school. There was 20,000 students. And as far as Latinos, there was almost none. So the fight started a year or two earlier. And during that was a period where they went through the usual civil rights movement type stuff where we were raising money and recruiting to bring students in and that kind of stuff. And then also housing. They couldn't get housing for any students who were not white because the landlords, when they saw a black face, they would just say, well, the room was taken last hour.
Wow.
So we would send white people out to go and get the apartments and then, that kind of thing. So we had sort of a little civil rights type movement. And that brought maybe 350 students in from both black and Latino students on the EOP program that they, I think, was still
It's still here, yeah. That started as a result of that.
Yeah. We brought them in, and then that was the base of what happened in '69, because now there was at least a little more of black and Latino students here.
I see.
And also there was a large white political movement because of the war in Vietnam and the civil rights movement. They're talking 66 and 67. So that was the tail end of the civil rights movement and the beginning of the anti-war movement. So you had a large group of white students who were political. So there was a big base.
And that's what I wanted to ask you, how, coming back now after all that time and seeing the consciousness on campus here today, how do you think it's different? What do you see that's the echoes of the same?
Well, when the judge sentenced me to jail, I told him, and he pissed him off and he gave me jail time for it. I quoted Fidel Castro, and I said, history will absolve me. And it certainly has. I mean, I walk across the campus now, and it's like, everybody's there. Black, Latino, Asian, white, deaf students. I mean, you've got everything now. You've got probably the most diverse campus in California right now.
Right. So that battle was won, it seems.
Was won at that point, and now there's an attempt with the tuition, because tuition was always the problem, because people had no money, was to try to keep people in the school. Tuitions at that time were low enough that we could raise the money to keep in school, or we could get scholarships and things like that that weren't large. If it was $300 a semester, like the guy who gave the speech today, which it was right. Even though the dollar was worth less, we could get that kind of money. If we could get $50,000, we could bring 100 students.
I see what you mean.
So it was easier then. Now, of course, $5,000, $7,000 a semester a year, it's very difficult. So this is the same fight, different time.
Do you think that this fight also has a prognosis? That history will absolve us?
I think so. I think history. What was it, Martin Luther King's thing? History has a broad curve, and you may go up and down, but there's a continuum that's always progressive.
The arc of the moral history is long. The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what I think. I think this country might very well go fascist, but even fascist countries like Germany came out of them very progressive. Learned a lot of lessons.
So you think it may get worse before it gets better? A lot worse.
I think racism is alive and well.
Do you forecast a President Palin?
She's less dangerous. President Palin would be much better probably than a Huckabee or a Romney or somebody who's smooth enough to put icing on the fascism.
As President Reagan was. Smooth,
exactly.
A good communicator,
exactly.
A friendly face for imperialism.
That's what they want. Republicans want that. And now, I agree with some of the people. The Democrats are almost as bad. Clinton was basically, all the problems that were happening started under Clinton. Glass-Steagall was, taken away.
Right.
Clinton, welfare reform under Clinton, NAFTA, and all those were under Clinton. So the policies are the same. They just under George Bush, they just were allowed to run rampant. The policies were made earlier. Bush didn't do much of anything other than tax cuts in terms of major policy. Clinton already had carried out their programs.
Right. You already got rid of welfare. Good point.
Steagall Act, got rid of NAFTA. They're all the same ultimately. The systems function. It doesn't matter who's on top of them. Systems function, and this system's set up to function a certain way, and capitalism's set up to function a certain way.
You think the system can be reformed, or?
I don't think so. capitalism requires expansion. It must expand. It's got to recapitalize over and over and over. Right now, we can recapitalize into China or India and places like that, but sooner or later, Chinese and Indian businesses are going to take those markets.
We're already seeing that happen.
Exactly. Well, right now, General Motors' largest market is in China. The Buick. If you have a Buick in China, you're
you're a
big
top.
deal.
Yeah.
So, and then what happens is you get more and more depression because you don't have consuming power keeps the capitalist economy functioning.
Right.
We don't have it right now, so I'm glad I'm hopeful. It's your problem, not mine.
Well, we appreciate you bringing it this far for us, limping it along to this point.
Yeah, well, now I've still got some older people to stagger along the line.
Thanks.